Hello, and welcome to Stocks and Squats. My name is L. Jermaine Russell, and today is October 19th, a Monday of 2020. We are in the halfway mark of this lunch hour, this lunchtime, and you know, I wanted to go over essentially like just two stocks, really, GE and Snap. I might even add in GameStop because I do feel like GameStop has some upside movement as well. I'm holding position all three of them, but before I get into that analysis, um, if you could like and subscribe to my channel. I try to provide you with as much stock information as I can, and as well as share any health routines, fitness routines that will help you achieve your physical goals. So we're not just looking to increase our financial goals, but we're also looking to enhance our physical health for a better future, you know, for a better tomorrow. So anyway, like I was saying, when I am influenced this week by two different news items. Um, these news items probably should not weigh as much for most, right? Particularly the climate that we're in, we just see the stocks that are moving higher and higher and higher. However, I'm still, very cautious on a lot of things. I'm a Virgo, so I like to be cautious. I like to figure out, what are some areas that I can be able to protect myself with. So, with that being said, um, the news that came in this week, uh, over the weekend, I feel like one has to deal with obvious, elections. Who's getting elected, how they're getting elected, and what backstory that they might be carrying as they come to the forefront. So, Hunter Biden, um, who is Joe Biden's son, who had some issues with drugs and stuff like that. Apparently, his laptop was found. And like I said, I'm still confirming stuff on my end because I would hate to even share information that I don't even know if it's right or wrong. But apparently, in this laptop that was found in Delaware, it it had child pornography stuff on it. So because it had that type of stuff on there, I just don't see uh, Trump ignoring this at some point or another during the debates this week, which I think is on Tuesday. I don't see Trump ignoring that story. He's going to try to lean into that as much as possible. He doesn't want to have questions that are being asked by the town hall. He wants to be able to provoke and try to, arrogantly lead his way through a debate without sticking to some more hardcore facts that affect everyday Americans. But child pornography is such a danger. It's not something that you should be playing with. It's not something that I condone at all. So hopefully, I really truly hope that these stories are not true. Um, but I do believe that both Democrats and Republicans deal with this on both sides. So if this news does really come out and we do see that it's not only Hunter or anything that's related to the Bidens, but it's also on both sides of the aisle, I can really see that really like inflaming the stock market a whole lot more. The next news article would suggest that the FCC in their Rule 230 is trying to figure out who to put any responsibility on information that is being disseminated via social media. So, who is responsible for saying what when things are said that cause possible negative consequences? As the FCC kind of rules on that, that also gives me caution on any tech company that I would want to invest in, even though it has a lot of upside growth and potential. I still would be weary of you know who would brunt the most impact because of this ruling. So I have those two things in mind, and because I have those two things in mind, it will guide my investing for the week. So, like I said, this week I invested into three companies. One I'm holding from over the weekend, which is GM. The one where my chart is already on, which is Snap, right? I'm looking at GM right now because it's down 4 cents. I'm not down that much, but uh, I bought it typically. Well, I'll get into that. Let's start with Snap. I already have my laptop kind of configured to Snap. My platform configured to Snap. So, as we see, this is the minute chart here. This is the day chart. Let's switch it to the actual day chart. So on the day, Snapchat, it has earnings coming out tomorrow after the market closes. So when the market closes tomorrow, there should be an increase in price or a decrease in price based on whatever the analysts have said. I believe that this stock can go a lot higher just because of the fact that it is trading near its all-time high of 29.44. Because it's trading near there, it gives it an opportunity, and it's trading near there, and its current price is at 28.89. As my internet has surprisingly slowed down, I don't know why it's trying to reconnect now, but because of that, because of how close it is, really less than 60 cents away from its all-time high, because that is pretty eminent, and it looks like it would probably retest it today if it could. Still a whole nother 3.5 hours left of trading. If a new high is created, we do know that it will pull back. Once that new high is created, it hits that high, comes back down, and it tries to find wherever the 200 SMA is. Sometimes it doesn't get down to the 200 SMA. I can't even show you right now because the the connection is slowing down. Okay, maybe there we go. Now we're back. So, yay! No, there we go. Come on, thanks. So we see on the day chart, we see on this day chart that not only is it at this 28.90 area, but the green line, the 5 EMA exponential moving average is at 27.99, and the 20 SMA is at 26.61. So we know we have a downside risk of at least $2. So let's say that you know uh, the expectations that Snapchat was supposed to have when earnings came out was not met. I'm anticipating it coming down to 26.61. I do not anticipate holding it through earnings. I would never ever do that. Um, I would suggest that no one ever really does that because you never know what the earnings are going to be. Only unless you have the capabilities of doing that. You feel like that's in your wheelhouse of capabilities. Then definitely go for it. For me, won't do it, can't do it. Right. So, with that being said, I feel that there's this bullish engulfing pattern that has happened, and you can see this nice little U as well. This U was formed around that $26 area, right? And then it continued to break out a little bit higher. Um, and now we have this bullish engulfing pattern. Usually on the bullish engulfing pattern, it goes higher, right? The I should probably just do a video specifically on bullish engulfing patterns, but because I'm not, I just want you to take notice of this, and then we see what the price difference is between the moving averages, and then we see the real downside risk in there, $19, right? That'll be if earnings really became really piss poor, all right? So what I tend to do is take it from the day chart, go to the hour. On the hour, we see that after the morning open, it pulled back at that 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. time. Then from 11 a.m. to 12, found some green, and then right now it's at the 12:30, 12 to 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. time frame. So we see that it's engulfing right here as well. There was a cross back here on the MACD, right? The momentum is still going green, and it's not overbought on the RSI. So this suggests that there is more upside available that's coming, right? The volume is green. The volume is a little bit less than than the last hour, but it's still showing some significant signs of volume. So this is important. Now also we start to see where the price is on our moving averages. 28.67, 28.22. We see the downside risk there, and then we also see the downside risk at $27. Right. If we take it to the options chart, the options chart kind of mirrors what you're going to see on the stock price chart. Right. We see that engulfing candlestick right there. I bought in on this candlestick probably too early at that 10 a.m. hour. It was like around, and we'll see it on the minute chart, but it was probably around like 10:10 or 10:05. Usually I wait until about 10:30 prior to buying a stock because I know that there'll be some downside. But I got in on the red candle, should have waited, and because it was green before it turned red. Um, and now we see that it has some upside, right? And it's not overbought either. So I'm really looking for some nice movement on this one. Maybe it goes to $2.50 on the options chart. If we take it to the minute chart, you can see where I bought it at. Uh, Zoom out. Oops, sorry. All right, so you see that I bought it when it was starting to come up at $1.81. So it was a little bit too soon. I could have waited. That downside risk to $1.60. What price are you? This this price at $1.66, which it did come down to, right? It bounced off that and went higher. So we know that this $1.66, at least for me when I first got in, I said, hey, if I'm only risking 15 cents, that's fine. I can get in around this price and be fine because I did think about selling it, but I said, it's only 15 cents, so if anything, I'll hold it, see what happens. If it bounces, then I'll just ride the wave, and that's what I'm doing. I'm riding the wave right now. So I would like to see this go to that $2 area. Of course, anything higher is always better. I would love to see it go up to $2 a share. You can't really see much on this chart, but I give it to the hour chart. I just wanted to break this $1.95, but I feel that I put my order at $2.50, just because it might gap up tomorrow, or in the after hours today, because of its news. So this is Snap. Really starting to look at it, and you can see the level 2 for the options call itself. On the stock chart, it will pull back. It's pulling back to this 28.83 area, but as always, if you get a cross in the MACD might bring it back to the 200 SMA, which I'm anticipating it happen, which is possible. It could happen. Like right now, as I'm looking at it, right? So it's about 20 minutes before the lunch hour is over with. So the setup is fine. So I would not sell this at all. I would just hold it until tomorrow and then sell before earnings. And then the next one is GME. Actually, I want to go to, even though this is a good one too, I want to go to General Motors because I'm anticipating this holding above 33.45. And right now it's not doing that. Right now it is doing something else. So as we're at GM, I bought these contracts last week. Well, not last week, on Friday. I think I bought it in the 95 cents area, 93 cents. Yep, so I bought some at 93 cents. You see I'm down about 8 cents right now. I'm not a big fan of this candlestick just because I feel like it can, when I say this candlestick, this is on the stock price chart. I feel like that it can go to 23 or 32.79. When you get a red candlestick, you always have to think about the downside risk. So that's the downside risk I'm thinking about, is where it could really go to in the $32 area. even though it probably will not, just because of the news of what it's doing with Nikola, and that there is a whole EV grid now that is backed by blockchain technology that's supposed to make it even more extra secure when you are charging your GM car with voltage, right, instead of gas. So that makes this product very exciting. I do not anticipate day trading this one. I anticipate holding this a little bit longer. Even though I bought the weeklies on it, I do feel that it will carry some news in anticipation with Nikola. Even Nikola is not the best. I feel like from its very inception that it had more of a business plan than it did of an actual uh, business, physical business. It does have some type of technology that can drive a manufacturer to use the technology to support its cars. So, with that being said, I see that with GM. GM, it the downside risk is $27, so it's $6 spread, whatever, right, to the 200 SMA. I don't think it will go down that far just because it's still above the 5 EMA. So how do I measure my risk on this one? So I just mentioned the 5 EMA being at 3270 ish, and now I'll go down to the hour. So on the hour chart, what we're seeing is that there are two consecutive red candles. So now I'm anticipating this next hour to either be a strong red candle or some stability with a green candlestick, right? And if there is some stability with a green candlestick and the price can stay above 33.46, then we'll know that it has more upside. But if it trades and it cannot sustain itself above 33.46, then we know there's going to be more downside. And typically, if there's ever a MACD cross over, if there's ever a MACD cross that happens and it's over the 200 SMA, sometimes it can come back down to the 200 SMA, right? So now we're looking at almost a $2 a share drop on this cross. I'm not saying that that will happen just because there are support levels in the high 33 area, but or in the low 33 area, $33 area. But still, I am always on the cautious side. Right now on the minute chart, what it's doing is that after it had its pop to $34, in the right around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., where only unless you have Webull, it allows you to get in on the trade. But you see, that the stock dipped, right? It dipped to 33.10, and it held the $33 area before rising on up and then going up higher. So it did go high, and now it traded low, and now it's trading sideways. So typically when it trades sideways and it's below the SMA, the 200 SMA, I am never sure of that, and I would like to get out. But oftentimes also too is with this type of movement, you have to factor in the RSI and the MACD to see if there will be some upside movement to come back to the 200 SMA. And as you can tell, it bounced off the 200 SMA twice, overselling itself, and then and it maintained from that point. So now with this RSI, we want to see more of a bump to go up higher, as we can see that relative strength is going higher. And then we also see that there might be a cross developing here on the MACD and on the moving averages. So when both of them happen simultaneously, it power charges the stock to go higher. I've seen with other stocks like Peloton and AMD, you'll get that bullish run. But either way, once the MACD cross and changes momentum, it has an opportunity to go much higher. There's more buying opportunity. So this is what I'll be watching on GM, is really how the news is going to react with the EV market, how not just the EV market and the expansion of its EV production, but how it reacts in China with China sales, because apparently it's the second largest automaker in China. So with that being said, they're working out terms and agreements to ensure that they can capture at least 40% revenue or return from the Chinese market. So I hope that this news will influence the stock to go higher more than the EV news with its deal with Nikola. The pending deal that might happen in December 3rd or December 4th, right? So I hope that this helps. Actually, let's before we do that, I want to show you the options part of it. The options trade kind of resembles, right, the stock price trade. The stock price trade, you have this half candlestick right here after a green candlestick. That's what you're getting over here, right? But you're still getting bullish momentum. So this is another reason why I would say, hey, I will hold on to this, particularly until tomorrow, because there might be an engulfing candlestick that happens here. So yeah. So with that being said, now I feel like I've mentioned everything or every possibility that could happen on these two stocks. GME, GameStop, that's another one that I recently just bought. Only bought one contract for a weekly, and yes, I've been getting into options a little bit more. Obviously, getting my hand a little bit more dirtier with it, just because I just like the potential that it has, that you can garner from earning on options. So as we see, Peloton is looking nice at $2.34 on the day. It went up. Also, Max R. That was another company that I was very, very interested in, and then did not get a chance to get back in. I think I sold on this day because it was just not doing what I wanted. And then we see Friday, and then today is doing what I anticipated it doing the day before or days before. So once again, hope this helps. Leave a comment in the section below. Maybe I can add in a new something to make sure that whatever it is that gets you on the path of learning to use the markets to intensify your own bank account to make it better, to allow it to grow. Let me know, and I can see what I can do to help. So like I said, happy trading everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.